Good evening. I'm Scott Manning, the founder of the Books for a Better Life Awards. Thank you very much. And very happy to welcome you here tonight and to join us as we honor the very best self-improvement books of 2009. I'd like to pass things on to tonight's host, the author of From the Heart, 8 Rules to Live By, and co-anchor of ABC News' Good Morning America. Please welcome Robin Roberts.
I'd like to welcome New York Times bestselling author and host of a catchy new show. It's called The Dr. Oz Show. Please welcome Dr. Mehmet Oz.
So just last year, you sort of saw that short video of me and Mike Roizen, who truly is my best friend. We also write the U-Books together. We were given this award called Books for a Better Life Hall of Fame Award. Mike and I started talking about its real meaning. It turns out the award, and I'm quoting, is bestowed each year to a dedicated and committed member of the publishing community who has significantly contributed to the advancement of the self-improvement over the past 5 years. Caroline, please come on up and accept your award. The CEO of Simon & Schuster and my publisher, Caroline Reedy.
In publishing these books, today's as well as the past winners and finalists, and even the inspirational books that have not been selected for these honors, we are putting into the hands of readers something that can directly improve their lives. That is a very powerful responsibility, and one that makes it all more rewarding to be part of this business.
To present our first 3 awards, beginning with the Child Care Parenting category, a long-standing member of the event's executive committee and the president and publisher of New Market Press, Esther Margolis.
Thank you, everybody. Good friends. And the winner is Poe Bronson and Ashley Merriman, Nurture Shock.
We actually were inspired to write this book because I actually found a piece of research on the effects of praise on kids that Carol Dweck had done. And I gave it to Poe and I said, read this. And 20 minutes later, he called back and he started yelling. And I started yelling. And we were like, why didn't somebody already tell us about this research? If we knew that praising kids for how smart they were actually led to less achievement instead of inspiring more, well, I've been tutoring inner city kids for 10 years. I would have done things differently.
The next category is the green category. This was only created last year, this category, because we do have so many more works being published that inspire us to reduce our impact on the planet and to live a greener and better life. And the winner is James E. McWilliams, Just Food, Little Brown and Company.
When I started to write Just Food, I had 2 primary goals in mind. The first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that I thought about and wrote about sustainable agriculture from a global perspective.
So we move on to the third category that I'm presenting, and that is in the motivational category. These are how-to books that help us cope with the wide spectrum of life's challenges. The winner is Gail Blanky. Throw out 50 things.
My aim in this book and in everything I do is not for you to live a tidy, well-organized life, but rather for you to be free, for you to step into the clearing and be everything you're meant to be.
Up next, I would like to introduce you to a woman with her finger on the pulse of publishing, and that's saying a lot in this room. Please welcome co-founder and president of the Book Report Network, Carol Fitzgerald.
Authors in the inspirational memoir category looked into their own lives to find sources of inspiration. And the winner is Tracy Kidder for Strength in What Remains.
I chose to write this book, Strength in What Remains, because I met this young man quite by accident, Deo Gracias. It seemed to me an amazing story of resilience and a story also about the kindness of strangers. I am very interested in the issues that this story raises, and one of the big ones is the great disparity among poor and rich countries, and one of the places where that shows up most clearly is in public health and medicine. Deo, after all that he went through, went back to Burundi and built what is now really a hospital, wonderful hospital. If a reader takes nothing else away from my book, I'd like the reader to go to villagehealthworks.org.
Back by popular demand this year, our personal, I love that, popular demand for personal finance. I love this. The winner is Jean Chatsky for The Difference.
I wrote this book because I wrote another book, and shortly after I wrote it, I started hearing from people who told me they couldn't do it, and it made me wonder, what was that?
We move on now to the psychology category, where we move on to books that involve how the mind works. And the winner is Nicholas Christakis and James Fowler for Connected from Little Brown and Company. The authors could not be here tonight, so I will accept the award on their behalf.
The MS Awareness Award honors an author whose work helps move us closer to creating a world free of MS by increasing people's understanding of this disease that affects 400,000 Americans. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our MS Awareness Award winner and New York Times best-selling author of 29 Gifts, How a Month of Giving Can Change Your Life, Cammie Walker.
I would not have ever imagined I'd be standing up here because 2.5 years ago I couldn't stand up. Every time I get to be a part of anything that is about spreading the word about how to find a cure for this disease that stops people in their tracks, literally, you know, I'm really, really honored that I get to stand up here and be a face, you know, put a face on this disease.
Our next category, relationships. And the winner is Deborah Tannen for You Were Always Mom's Favorite, Random House.
I'm so sorry that I can't be with you in person today to accept this award. My field is linguistics, which is usually not associated with books that are practical in terms of people's everyday lives. So I'm especially honored when I realize that the books I've written, although they're about language, are truly about improving relationships. So this award is especially meaningful.
Our final award presenter tonight is a longtime premier co-chair and member of Books for a Better Life Hall of Famer. We got a Hall of Famer with us from LJK Literary Agency. Please welcome Larry Kirschbaum.
The next category is spiritual books that nourish the soul, help readers develop inner peace, and examine the many facets of faith. And the winner is Thomas More, Writing in the Sand, Hay House.
This book is a simple book in a way. It takes me back to my early years when I was a seminarian, studying theology and reading the Gospels. But I got away from them for a long time, and most of my books talk about Greek mythology. But recently, I've been thinking a lot more about those early years of mine and about the Gospels. So I decided to see what they were about and to set aside what people have been saying for 2,000 years about them. Just look at the text and see if anything fresh and new came to me. And that's what this book is all about.
The next category is wellness. Through their work, they have taught us to care for our entire selves, our minds, and our bodies, and how to find balance in our lives. And the winner is David Kessler, The End of Overeating.
As a physician, as former FDA commissioner, and as someone who has struggled with weight my entire life, my goal in writing The End of Overeating was to explain the real reasons why we have such a complicated relationship with food. I am thrilled that The End of Overeating has received such a wide audience.
The first book category was established to honor a first-time author of self-improvement books, regardless of category. And the winner is Josie Story, Sorrel King.
The book has many threads. There's the thread of grief, there's the thread of anger, there's the thread of searching for religion, there's the thread of finding what it means to forgive. But the most important thread in the book that I really hope people take away from is that thread, that notion of taking loss or disappointment, which we'll all suffer from at some point in our lives, whether it be death or cancer or bankruptcy or the loss of a job or something. But taking that loss and that disappointment and somehow working really, really hard to find a way to make something good come out of it.